Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am starting a weekly vlog here. It is going to be hopefully a weekly reading vlog, and I've actually got a week of holiday right now, so I am at the moment just hanging out at home. It's Monday and I am just about to go on some Patreon reading sprints in like 10 minutes, so I thought that I'd introduce this vlog and let you guys know exactly what I'm reading and what I'm like planning on reading for the week. Tomorrow I'm actually going to a musical in town, like in central London, with some friends. Then after tomorrow, me and Jamshad are going to my parents' house in the countryside, so I'm going to be able to do a lot of reading hopefully and relaxing with the dogs, but it's not going to be the best weather apparently, so I don't know how much we'll be able to get up to. But yes, I'm definitely going to take all of the books that I'm currently reading with me. So I've got a couple of books here, the books that I'm going to be reading during these reading sprints this evening, and the first one is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which I actually picked up back in November of 2022, so it's taken me a little bit of time to get to the point that I'm at now, which is page 358. I feel like I've got about a quarter left of the book. The fact that I didn't pick it up for like 3 months makes it sound like I wasn't enjoying it in the first place, but that is just so far from the truth. I was loving it at the time, like I was really into it and reading it quite quickly. I had to prioritize another book ahead of this one, like a buddy read or something. I ended up pausing it and then not getting the urge to pick it back up, which is kind of typical me behavior, to be honest. But yeah, I actually decided in a live stream last week to start reading this again because I've got it in my head that I want to clear my currently reading list on Goodreads, and there are 5 or 6 books on there. So yes, this is the first one that I'm going to be reading off that list, and I think within this reading vlog I'm going to try and keep myself accountable and try to finish all of the books on that list, apart from maybe one, which is my Patreon buddy read. It's The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's upstairs. I'm mostly enjoying it. I'm not getting into it as much as I thought I would. I love the writing, but the actual content of the book itself is kind of going off on a tangent, and I need to get it back to the actual focal point of the book and these main characters and like players in the story. That one's not doing the best job in capturing my attention, I have to say. But now that I'm back into the Poppy War, I really just want to exclusively read this one and focus on finishing it so that I'm setting myself up to read the second book in the series this year, which is The Dragon Republic. And I keep forgetting that this is R.F. Kuang's debut novel. This is the first book that she got published. The writing's incredible, the character's incredible. I actually got a little lamb recently as a present to myself for getting a new job. I'll show you guys later because she is so cute, but I've decided to name her Rin after the main character in this book because Rin in The Poppy War is one of my favorite main characters ever. She is the character that you want to root for. She's probably my favorite main character in a fantasy by far. Last night I was reading it in bed and I was getting really sleepy, but it was getting to a really intense point, and I cannot wait to get back to that in the reading sprints. And then the other book that I was thinking of reading during these sprints is Demon Slayer Volume 5. And I know I said that I was just going to focus on the Poppy War, but I think I can read this in one sprint. And this is the last Demon Slayer volume that I have that's left unread, so I really want to read it. I'm so hooked on this story, and I'm probably going to have to get more volumes of this ASAP. But last week when I did those reading sprints, I mentioned I read a couple volumes of Demon Slayer in the first half and then went on to the Poppy War in the second half, and I just really enjoyed like easing into the sprints with a manga, so I think that's what I'm going to do now. But yes, I will keep you guys updated with all of my reading updates throughout the week and what I get up to. And yeah, I hope this can be just a classic reading vlog. We can catch up. So yeah, welcome to the vlog, and I will speak to you guys very soon. This is Rin. I love her with my whole heart and soul. everybody, it is now Wednesday, and yesterday I didn't really vlog because it's my time of the month and I was having a pretty shitty day, but I did manage to get out and go see Bonnie and Clyde in the evening, which was incredible. I really recommend it actually, like if you're in London between now and I think the end of May. I think it's got quite a short running time. If you like true crime, it's so perfect, like a mixture between true crime and a musical, because it is literally based on the true story of Bonnie and Clyde, the criminals, and their love story and their tragic end. And the music itself is so fantastic. The production, the casting was incredible. It actually blew me away. Like I didn't know what to expect, but the longer I sat there, the more I was just in awe of the performers. So yeah, I'm really glad that I managed to get out, because I almost didn't, just because I felt so rotten. Today I am literally just about to go out, so I just got ready. I still have kind of semi-damp hair. I am going to see my best friend Amy. I'm going around to her house to spend a couple of hours and just catch up and stuff. I'm definitely going to be taking my book on the bus, so I am now on page 369 of the Poppy War. That's what I read up to in the reading sprints the other night. And I also finished Demon Slayer volume 5, which I gave 5 stars. Literally every single volume of that manga I have given 5 stars so far, and it honestly just keeps getting better. So does the anime as well. You guys will have seen that I caught up to where I was in the manga now in the anime as well. So yeah, just having a really good time reading at the moment. I definitely wanted to make more progress in this yesterday, but I just didn't, because I was just feeling so bad. All I wanted to do was watch TV, eat food and chill in my heated blanket. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to take it on the bus, hopefully make a little bit of progress to and from my friend's house today. It's only a 15-20 minute journey, so probably won't read too much. But later today, me and Jamshed are going to be driving to my parents' house this evening. It's the first time he'll have been there since October, just because we've been having loads of car trouble. He's seen them because they visited London between October and now. We used to go like once a month together. Needless to say, I'm really excited and I just can't wait to have like a really chill time. So yeah, for now I need to stop talking and find out when my next bus is, so I can rush over to my friend's house and be able to spend as much time there as possible. I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update, let you guys know what day it is and take you with me. She's waiting for Mabel to notice. Cheeky monkey. not gonna linger for very long, but I just wanted to give you an update and say that I've been at my parents' house for a couple of days now. Well, not really a couple of days, like a day and a half. So it's the second day that I've been here and it's Friday. And today me and my mum took the dogs on a walk and it was so hectic because there are 3 of them and they're all crazy. So yeah, that was really bracing. It was very windy and rainy at the time as well. But yes, now I've just got changed. I'm wearing white now that I'm not with the dogs, and we are going to go to town, potentially get a coffee and maybe go book shopping in the Waterstones over here. But yeah, I actually haven't read since I got here, which is a big fail, a big flop, but I think it's just because I've been hanging out with my family, hanging out with the dogs, and yeah, we've been watching Married at First Sight Australia and Love is Blind and all of those things. So yes, it's not surprising to me that I haven't read, to be honest, because even though I always bring so many books here because I think it's going to be a cute cozy reading kind of week or weekend whenever I'm here, it never really happens. So yes, I shouldn't really be surprised at all. But before I go into town, I thought I would show you guys something really cute that I found just now, because I think my parents are having a big, not clear out, but like rearrange of all of their like art and stuff like that, and I haven't seen this in so long and it is so cute and I wanted to show you. This picture is something that I did when I was really young, I think maybe a young teenager. Sorry about the reflections, but that is clearly May from My Neighbor Totoro, which is one of my favorite Ghibli films. It was the first one I ever watched, and this was a little picture that I did and my mum framed it because she loved it so much. So yeah, this was such a cute little memory unlocked because I completely forgot about it, but I love this so much. I kind of want to take it home with me because they don't even have it hung up or anything, which is so rude. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you because I just saw it yesterday and I'm actually really proud of it. But anyway, we're gonna go out now, so I'm gonna put this back down here, and hopefully next time I speak to you guys I'll actually have like a proper reading update. Hello. It's been a while since we talked. I think the last time that I spoke to you was last weekend when I was still staying at my parents' house with Jamshed. I remember after going on that really nice walk, we saw the sea. We went to this old village that's kind of like being trapped in time because it was used as like kind of like a military base or a military testing site during I think the Second World War, which is really sad. And yeah, there was just a lot of history in that village. So we really enjoyed that. That's exactly like in my family and Jamshed's kind of thing. And then Jamshed and I drove home on Sunday and I started my new job the next day. So I literally for the last week have been at my new job, which is so weird. I'm not a bookseller anymore. I don't know if any of you guys have watched the last video, but within that video, the whole video that I did, I talked a little bit about the big change that's happened in my life and how I'm moving on to a new job. It's still definitely within the bookish realm, but for me it's a lot more responsibility. It's a very different role. It's an office-based job, but yeah, I'm not really going to talk much more about it just because I don't know if I want to really say like which company I'm working for and go into like all the details and stuff, but it is within social media. You guys might be seeing me on your feeds whether you know it or not, which is just really weird. But yes, I did promise in the last video that I would update you guys with like how it's going and stuff, and I'm just really happy. Like obviously any first week in a new job, it's going to be quite tough and overwhelming sometimes, and it definitely was, but I'm just so happy to like be moving on. Yeah, just doing something new. Obviously that does mean that these videos are going to be a bit more spotty, but to be honest with you, they have been anyway for the last few months or the last year, so you know what, nothing much is really going to change. So yeah, big personal changes, not much change to YouTube. One thing that is changing that I might just mention is that I have decided to end my Patreon at the end of April. So this month is technically the last month of my Patreon, and it's kind of a full circle moment because we started a year ago this month. That's when I kind of introduced my Patreon and we kicked it off in May. So yeah, it feels very full circle, and I just appreciate the time that I had on there with that group of people and the community that we built. It was just such a great experience. Yeah, it's just been the best time ever. But I will be removing the link of my Patreon from my bio because I don't want anybody signing up for a new month when it's literally the end. That sounds so morbid, but yeah, it's been so good and I just feel so grateful for this last year. But obviously taking on a new full-time job, a lot more of my time is going to be taken up with my career, so it just made sense to say goodbye to Patreon, which yeah is really sad, but I think it's the right decision. And yeah, I just thought I would mention it here just in case any of you guys were interested in my Patreon. I just wanted to be completely transparent. But yes, I am just super content. I don't even know how to explain how happy I am that spring is, I would say, officially here. We're getting more hours of daylight in the UK, and yeah, it just feels like spring. It's a super sunny weekend at the moment. It's Easter weekend, which is just one of my favorite times, and everybody just seems to be like so happy. It's a long weekend for a lot of people as well, and the weather is literally just matching that. So yeah, hopefully this will go up at some point in the long weekend, probably Monday. I hope that you guys have had a good weekend and are having a good start to your next week. But yeah, I just thought I would like wrap up what I read in this vlog because I actually finished a couple of books within this last week. So you guys will have seen me reading this during the live show with Jan and Jodie, who I will link below. I love those girls so much. So yeah, that was a really nice live show that we did, kind of an impromptu for me live show. And I ended up reading this manga the day after I bought it in town with my mum. So this is called Call the Name of the Night by Tama Mitsuboshi. It's a really cute story about this girl who's a doctor's assistant. She has this kind of mysterious ability that you don't really understand within the first volume, or at least the beginning of the first volume, what it is. She is kind of like infected with the night, and that night kind of consumes her and takes over sometimes and kind of spreads around her. So it seems very morbid, but it's actually really cute, the fact that she's this doctor's assistant and they have this very sweet relationship. The illustration style is really cute as well, and I just love the attention to detail of the outfits in this, which is just something that I don't really talk about with manga, but this one specifically, I loved all the outfits. And there's a bit at the back which kind of explained the thought behind them as well, which I found really fun. But yeah, I ended up giving this, I think, 3 or 3.5 out of 5 stars, just because it wasn't the most cohesive first volume in a manga I've ever read, and it definitely wasn't my favorite either. I think it was a nice story, but yeah, it wasn't very cohesive from one story to the next. It just felt like a bunch of little snippets in these people's lives, which I think will probably change within the series. This is a new manga, so I think it's just the first that's out in English at least. I still enjoyed it, and I will definitely pick up more of the manga when it comes out. I mean, I haven't even spoken about it, but the cover is just gorgeous, and that's kind of what drew me to it. I had never seen it before, so I just bought it on a whim, and I'm very, very happy that I did. I would recommend, if you like the sound of kind of like a Howl's Moving Castle, magical fantasy manga, low stakes, really cute. Yeah, would recommend. But the important one, of course, today I did end up finishing The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I literally never thought I would see this day, because it has been actually 5 months or over 5 months since I started this book. So I started it as a kind of themed vlog where I got you guys to pick a random book off my shelf to read in one vlog. I realized that the pressure to read one book in a vlog was like too much. Even though it was such an amazing book to read for that vlog, I just didn't feel like it was actually a good idea for my relationship with reading, and this book specifically, to do that vlog at that time. So I just kind of stopped. And then recently I ended up picking this up, as I told you guys, and I finished it this week. So as one of my patrons told me, when you get to kind of like the final quarter, or like the final act, I guess, of this book, you definitely get sucked in, and there's no way I was ever going to put this down like in the last 24 hours. I haven't read much in the last week since I've been working, but this weekend I read the final over 100 pages of this, and yeah, I just devoured it, to be honest. It was so epic. It was distressing though, very, very distressing. There are some horrible things that happen. Just think of the worst war crimes you can imagine that happened in this book. So yeah, massive trigger warnings. I haven't explicitly been warned myself by someone else, but I have heard trigger warnings here and there for this series, and honestly, I take it seriously, but I have never thought that something would be too much for me, and this almost was. But I think it's really important as well to read about these things, and yes, it's like the image of what I imagined when they were being described is seared into my mind, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to erase that. But I think R.F. Kuang wrote it in the best, most delicate way to get the point across. And yeah, like I said, I think that was important, and it definitely added to the story. It wasn't just put in for the sake of it. It was very, very important for Rin's motivation in the rest of the book. And yeah, I just appreciate what R.F. Kuang did with that, as much as I can appreciate something that's going to literally scar me for life. I gave it 5 stars. If anybody's curious, it is now one of my favorite books ever. It's definitely my favorite fantasy book now of all time. I would happily pick up the next one straight away, although I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break from this series. I want to make it last. I want to enjoy it. But you guys will definitely see me pick up the Dragon Republic, which is right there, at some point this year, hopefully within the spring. I'm hoping to read Babel next. I've read Yellowface, I loved it. I've read The Poppy War, I love that even more. So yeah, I'm hoping to read Babel next and kind of sample every single one of R.F. Kuang's backlist at this point. I love her. She's like my new favorite author for sure with The Poppy War. Yeah, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy I read that book. I'm so happy I finished it this weekend as well. It is the perfect end to a really, really fun vlog. I think I'm going to wrap the vlog up here, because literally today all I'm going to be doing is like household stuff. Very, very boring. I don't think you guys want to see any of that. So yeah, I don't know what the next video is going to be. I do have a plan to do a weekend readathon with my patrons towards the end of the month, so I will most likely be vlogging that. I think it's going to be 48 hours of reading. So if you aren't subscribed and you want to see that, maybe consider subscribing. I literally never say that. Why am I saying that? But seriously, I need to go now because I've got really, really bad pins and needles just sitting down here. So yeah, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for reaching the end of this vlog, and hopefully I will see you soon in another one. Bye.